Here's an A, there's an R, grab that T, cause this is a real testimony.
Hi Royals, welcome to A.R.T. I'm your regal host TaMesha and I'm so excited to be here today. This is the first episode of A Real Testimony, A.K.A A.R.T. And today's topic is finding and walking in purpose. Today's guest is Miss Angela Littlefield. She is a journalist, stylist, and so much more. Without further ado, I give you Miss Angela Littlefield.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's such an honor to be here. I'm so glad that you invited me to share my knowledge or wisdom or whatever gems I can spread to your audience. So I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely, I'm honored. So thank you so much for just gracing us with your
Yes, of course.
Sure. Yes. So finding and walking in purpose, that's really strong.
Yeah.
And when we talked about it, you were like, this is what it is. Like, this is what we're gonna do. So what drew you to that? Like, what connected you to that?
Yeah, I would have to say, first of all, TaMesha, thank you again for allowing me to be here on your platform and your stage. I really appreciate that too as well, and also having another young woman, and not only a young woman of color doing boss and amazing things. I really appreciate that. So I would have to say this whole journey in general, since I was a little girl, I always wanted to move to Los Angeles, live and just be a whole big boss out here. And it wasn't easy getting here, I'll tell you that much. And then staying here is even harder.
Tell me about it.
Once you're here. So I think if anything, I have these conversations with me and my mom, honestly, back and forth about walking in my purpose and what does that mean, and what does that mean, whether it be career-wise or personal life or relationships or spiritually and stuff too, because I realize it changes all the time. Last year, Angela wouldn't think I would be here. So, that's what I would have to say. The purpose thing, and I'm still finding it.
Okay.
That
was my next question.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm still finding it.
Yeah.
So, at age of 28, I don't have all the answers. Which is totally fine. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. That's good. Thank you for sharing that. And like I said, I'm just as honored, because the thing is, it's beautiful for us to be able to come together, and it's your testimony. It's your journey. So finding and walking in purpose, that really just struck a string for me, because I'm like, I think that's something that we all are pondering in our minds.
Right.
So for you to speak on that and put a finger on that, I think it's beautiful, and it's really going to help a lot of people. So everyone who's going to watch this episode, they're going to be like, dang, I'm thinking about my purpose right now.
Exactly.
This is really good. So my next question for you would be, what does walking in your purpose look like for you?
So walking in my purpose looks like for me,
or I don't mean to cut you off, or like when you imagine purpose and you imagine Angela, what does that look like?
oh my God, that's so much other things. I think if anything would be the testament of speaking to others, and especially to young teenage girls and youth in general, because I see so much of us young girls, go through the daily life cycles of just life in general, and we're kind of trying to handle and maneuver through it all, and it can be very time consuming and mentally draining. And I would have to say, I would love to give back to those young girls and really give mentorship, guidance, and also reform laws on mental health too as well. So that has been a huge issue that I've been dealing with also personally, but also I would have to say even in my family too as well, dealing with the issues of mental health and how does that become of things. And many people would say, oh, Angela, you need to start speaking out in general to many different testaments.
And advocating.
And advocating, yes, just being an advocacy, because we all know as a woman of color, and also the stigma is very high and intense too as well in the women of color and the color fields, just African Americans in general when it comes to mental health. And what it looks like is very different, because when you're experiencing your own personal journey, it looks totally different than when you may see somebody else maybe saying, I'm experiencing depression, or I'm experiencing anxiety, or I've never had a panic attack before, or what does it look like to be bipolar?
Yeah.
You know, all those things and avenues, and I really think I have a really strong passion of just being that advocacy, and then also still doing my writing, still also doing my other different adventures that I have going on and everything too as well. And then, you know, who knows what the Lord might have planned. So I'm just sitting back and letting him take the lead.
Right.
Clearly.
Right. You got it. But it sounds like, Angela, that you're bridging mental health, your own mental health, and everyone else that is around you that you would want to help and assist with your purpose. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's definitely accurate, I would say, for sure. But you know, like I said, when I say I'm still figuring it out, I'm still figuring it out.
Because there's pieces.
There's pieces.
Yeah.
And it's complicated.
Right. It's not
straightforward. You know, it's not a whole black and white issue. You know, some things can be so gray and it can turn orange real quick, real fast. And you're like, whoa, I didn't realize what just happened.
Yeah.
But my mama always told me, she always told me this, everything you do in your life, make it a mission. And when you make an admission to someone, sorry, when you're making a mission to someone and stuff, you never know what journey you're going to take and what people that you're going to gravitate towards and the people that you're going to attract. So it's always important that you take those opportunities that you interact with people as little people that you're entertaining, or little people that you could be entertaining an angel. There used to be that saying, you never know when you might be entertaining an angel, or you never know. Exactly. And that whole aspect I really took to heart, because, you know, I'm trying to be kind to others, trying to speak and say hello, even giving a smile can go such a long way, and you'll be amazed how many people will come back, you know, oh my God, because of you, you did this. I needed that. And we need that much more so in this world, crazy world now.
No, that was a gem. We gotta let that sit in for a minute, because. But I was gonna say, you know, don't feel the need to hold back on your emotions. If you want to cry, you can cry together. So I think it's telling us to move on to the next question.
Yes.
So the question is, how do you combat outside definitions of your purpose?
Oh, that's a good one. I would have to say you have to be very mindful of how much you spend on social media.
Okay.
Because when you start comparing yourself to other people and realizing you're looking at just a highlight reel all the time, that can play with your insecurities. That can play with your emotions, and you could be like, well, I'm not doing this good enough. Maybe I should try this. Or they always seem like their life is so perfect. Trust me, no one's life is as perfect as it may seem.
Yeah.
No one's life.
Totally.
And I tell that to especially like my young nieces and nephews and stuff, because they think like it's fun to be on YouTube and TikTok, which is no problem, no shade to that at all. But especially a person who's been in the media profession since 2013 going on now, you know, it's a roller coaster ride, you know, and stuff like that. And you have to learn how to roll with the punches and roll with the waves, and you have to learn how to be told no.
Right.
Some people do not like to be told no. And sometimes there is a blessing in a waiting period too as well.
Oh, absolutely. My mother always says, rejection is just redirection.
Oh, yes. Most definitely, for sure. So many opportunities that I wanted and thought that was the right path for me, and God was like, no. wrong direction, no. And I'm so glad that it worked out that way in the first place.
Yeah.
Because if not, who knows what would have happened to me, and stuff like that. So that has been like the main thing I would have to say is definitely when you're in that waiting period, it's intentional time to be with God, to be in strong prayer, to be journaling, to be mentoring and talking with your mentors or mentees or whoever you get your advice or your circle from too as well, and really absorb all that wisdom, period. And it's okay to be calm and be still. My mentor, Pastor Dupree, shout out to her, she tells me that all the time. She's like, Angela, God is trying to speak to you, but you need to be still. And I could be going and be like, I need to do this, I need to do that, and this is not happening fast enough, and I'm trying this, I'm trying that. And she's like, you need to be still. Like, there's a reason for that,
So it seems like you're that still period, that stillness of just allowing, the Most High to guide you or to provide you with instructions is your way of combating others trying to define you.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Because I think we get so caught up in the hype with social media.
I mean, there's so many things you can get caught up in. Celebrities,
luxury.
What's the list?
Whether it could be any vice that you think of, and stuff, it could just absorb you and consume you so much that you forget to interact with other people that might be in front of you or yourself. Exactly.
That's the big one. That's the big one. Being able to sit with yourself, because that moment that you are sitting with yourself, you're able to really get to that quiet place to find what your purpose is. But the moment you're in all the chaos, all the noise, all the loudness, all the timeline updates and things like that, you're not allowing yourself to hear yourself, to figure out what that purpose even is.
Exactly, and that's why I would have to say the best of the best, like, leaders and pastors. Like, I know Pastor Michael Todd with Transformation Church and Relationship Goals author. I take a lot of my notes from him too as well. He's a huge inspiration that I look up to, and also has studied a lot of his sermons and his ministries and everything too as well. And he talks about having crazy faith and also having his sabbatical period. And his sabbatical period is where he's just resting, time with God, praying, fasting, and literally being secluded from everything possible. And that's very hard to do for a lot of people when you literally go off the grid for like a month or maybe even 2 months. Normal people can't do that for 5 minutes. So you mean to tell me I gotta withdraw all myself, but literally God says, come bring all my titles into you. You have to bring yourself into his storehouse. And that is the only way you're going to get refueling too as well. When you sacrifice yourself and give yourself of your all and really define what your purpose is, whether it's be meditating, praying, whatever, or anything that you define to get in your center, that's going to be the perfect peace, and you'll be able to go 10 times more faster than that.
I love that. Just finding that frequency. You're magical. Your aura right now is just like super magical.
You give me magicized.
Well, you know what? I really appreciate all the gems that you dropped. This is really going to help a lot of people. You talk about finding your purpose and advocacy, and just advocating for the people who don't think that they have a voice for themselves, because they have a voice.
Oh, most definitely.
But they have to realize that they have it.
Most definitely.
So I know you're already moving mountains, and I know you're going to continuously move mountains, and may God bless you. But yeah, I just wanted to share, as I wrap up, a quote from Bishop T.D. Jakes. He said, if you can't figure out your purpose, figure out your passion, for your passion will lead you right into your purpose. And then we can't, yeah, love it, right? And then finally, but not least at all, Miss Oprah Winfrey says, your real job in life is to figure out what it is that you are called to do. And Royals, I know we both enjoy this, but that's what we want to leave you with today, finding and walking in your purpose. What does that mean to you? So that does it, Royals, for this episode of Art. We had an amazing time with our guest, Miss Angela Littlefield, discussing the topic, finding and walking in purpose. So if you're looking for more episodes, you can definitely find it here at Art, A Real Testimony on YouTube. And we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Royalties, signing off.
Here's an A, there's an I, grab that T, 'cause this is art of real testimony.